Hello, YouTube. Today I just want to bring you my safari hunting guide. This is how I've been forming pretty much the past 2 days. It has been an absolutely incredible form for me. I'm doing safari hunting. So we go and we take all of the safari hunting nodes at the top here. The only ones we do not take is the probe nodes. Because as far as I am aware, the probes only drop in deep space. I've, probably done over 500 maps of this now. And I've not seen a single probe drop. I'm 99% sure these are deep space only. We go and we take every single compass node we can. The ones we don't take is this, because we do use compasses. Technically, what I could do is spec into like this and run it, but the problem is I'm pretty sure safari bosses do not actually count for this like node. Like all the safari bosses, they don't work with Captain Shadow and things like that from my testing, which makes me think that, other like, oh, boss gets this, boss gets that type things just won't work in this strat. And then lastly, we have some points left over. We do put these into drop quant. For another on talents, we do go for two portals. If your build is not capable of handling 2 portals, because this is a very reppy farm, just don't. It is okay to 6-port it. I was doing this like day 3 of the league or something, and I was 6-porting day 3 of the league, and it was an amazing time. I was making so much money. And then I think void variables is like it got added this league. I think this is like low-key broken. I think almost any form in this game should use void variables, because just adding like blessed monsters and shit to your map is extremely powerful. And a lot of these monsters are just giving you so much FE and so much like so many like compasses and things. Now for the setup, what we're doing is we're doing Hunting Compass Profound Pro. These are pretty, they were pretty cheap a while ago. They're now like 3.5, they've just been slowly rising. People have been catching on to the fact that compasses are just really broken to form in Profound. So prices have been skyrocketing. I remember I bought like, I don't know how many of these for like 2 FE per, 1 FE per. Silverwicks, these have been somewhat stable. They're slightly going up, but the league mechanics are not very good, so they're not going up a lot. Ecliptic, Astrolabes, these have gone up so much. I bought, I think, like 500 of them for when they were like 0.05 per. Now they're 0.8 per. Sinful Plunder, this has been fairly consistent in price. And I think it's very cheap for just 4% drop quant, which is why I've been running it. Sandlord, because I am running Sandlord in the background. I think Sandlord is just a nice... I just enjoy Sandlord. I think it's cool to run. Might as well do it. Because you have like an extra compass slot. If you don't run Sandlord, you should run something else like Soldier Compass. That's like very cheap. Just for the extra compass quant. And then lastly, I'm doing Hunting Astrolabes, which... these are now like 23, 24 FE each. Like when I started doing this strat, I was buying these for like 8 per. My map cost on this strat has probably gone like ×4 in like the past few days as people have been catching on to this form, and it's still really good. This form is absolutely insane. It's such an awesome form. So let me just show you a quick map and see what it's all about. So you go into the map, you activate the hunting, and then when you activate the hunting, what's gonna happen is it's actually gonna spawn bosses throughout the map that you can kill. And these are the safari bosses. Now, every time you kill a safari boss, it is going to give a blessing to the final boss of the map. So you're gonna see that these safari bosses all have like this buff below them in the Goddess of Hunting gameplay. And all of these buffs are getting sent to the final boss to then have one super final boss that is gonna drop you like a ton of compasses and maybe some FEN things. Now, we do run the lake mechanic as well. The lake mechanic's kind of shitty. Sometimes it pops off and it's pretty nice, especially with all the quant we have and reducing it. But I'm gonna be honest with you, the changes they made to the lake mechanic generally felt like they actually nerfed the mechanic, instead of buffing it, which was, pretty damn silly. And then Sandlord is just always really good. It's just passive income. It does take a bit of time out of your map, depending on your RNG and like how many waves you get, but once you have it fully set up, you could just technically ignore the Sandlord altogether, and, just like manually collect the gold. So you see now, this says in the Gods of Hunting gameplay, it has 6 of these buffs. That means we had a 6 bosser, which is like the bare minimum. Every map, you should have at least 6 bosses, but occasionally you will get procs to have more than 6 bosses. So the way the nodes work is that for every like boss that you kill up until 10 stacks, you're getting additional drop quant on the final boss. And also then you have some procs where it's like, oh, you know, there's a 25% chance to spawn 2 bosses, there's a 3% chance to spawn 6 bosses, etc. All of these come together where you're guaranteed with the compass, because the compass does give you plus 2 bosses. This gives plus 2 bosses and then 43% drop quant. It has come together to you being guaranteed to always get 6 bosses in a map, with the occasional 8 bosses, and then very rarely you'll see a 12 bosser. It's very difficult to reach like 15 bosses and cap out the hunting. Because as far as I'm aware, the only way to really do it would be to play gold hunting, get the 3% proc, and have the rainbow card, which gives you additional bosses. And I don't think there's no like big payoff for that, but if you do get like a 12 boss map, generally you get some pretty nice explosions at the end of the map. It's just very rare, obviously. It's kind of like the compass goblin, where it's like you don't see it very often. I mean, in this map session, we only had 1 compass goblin spawn, which is very unlucky, by the way. I will show you the odds in a bit, and I'll show you the FP per hour in a bit. But if you do get unlucky like that, it sucks. If you don't get unlucky, you make a fat rack. Just absolute tons of money. And it's the same thing with like trying to get more than just a 6 boss to spawn. So this was the hour of testing that, not hour of testing, but this was just some testing I did just so we had some stats to show for the YouTube video. We didn't have anything like too amazing drop for us, and a lot of these maps were actually like losing money. I did do my Sandlord once, because I think it was like enough time that I could have, you know, 52 minutes of mapping, like in that time your standard would have gone up once. And we pretty much didn't have like anything special dropping throughout all of the maps. Let's see, how do I click all maps? Overview. You know, nothing too insane, nothing too crazy dropping. I did have only 1 goblin spawn in a total of 33 maps, which is fairly unlucky because the goblin spawn rate is 7%. So I should be getting them more frequently than I have been, but that happens. And despite all of that, I did make 3,000 FE per hour doing this, or my actual is only 2k per hour because this does not include, you know, time not spent in the map, but I don't know. I'm a streamer. I do streamer things. Just be more efficient than me. I would say in the past few days and like all the testing I've done, this is a 3.5k-ish average form for the most part. Like you always get over 3k. Sometimes you'll have like runs where you have like 4k. Like I think I did like a 2-hour session yesterday where I was like averaging 4.3k because I just had lucky drops and good goblin RNG and things like that. And then other times you have bad RNG like this where you only get like 3k an hour. So it's overall a very, 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 very good form. And if you don't want to do a change to it, something you could do instead of the leak mechanic, especially if you don't have the pets, is I would drop Sinful Plunder altogether. You can try it with Sinful Plunder, but I think it's also worth it to just drop it. Run a different cheap compass. Drop the wick altogether. So you do like this. And like this. And then you go into the map. You don't bother with the leak mechanic. I would still tap it just to see if it's a special event. If it isn't, you just run past it. And you just go and kill the bosses. The only problem with this strat really is it doesn't work that well with Sandlord, which, you know, I want to do Sandlord. And I also just don't like this type of thing. This is very efficient for just hunting goblins, hunting, you know, the big runs, hunting good maps. And, you know, I have friends who are doing this variation of the strat, who have been reporting pretty good success with it. I did try it out for a few hours, not a few hours, but like I did try it out for like an hour, and it was okay. I didn't get extremely lucky or anything with it, so it felt just fine for me. It didn't feel amazing. But the big thing that I noticed from doing that is that you know, in that map just now, It was a 49-second map, and we made 93 profit. You know, 139 total, 93 profit. So it's decent. It's not a bad start at all. I just don't enjoy that type of play, so I prefer like doing the league mechanic and things. It's just more fun for me. I care a lot about like min-maxing fun in this game. So that is why I did that. I did make a loot code for this for people to follow. And I'll post the loot code in the... I'll just post it in the comment, but, you know, this is the build code. I even add the compasses for you. Now, as for pets, for my regular setup, let me just move my model. I'm using the Afterlight Lady, level 6. I'm using Chalk. I tried both. I've tried a few pets. I tried Dorothy, I tried Chalk, I tried the purple one. I generally don't even know if these pets work or not. We won't know until they like release the list and tell us. But at least for me, like, Chalk felt pretty good. It might. I have a feeling that the Chalk proc here doesn't actually do anything, but that is why I thought to use Chalk. But just the additional flame fuel felt really amazing for me. If it does work, maybe it doesn't work and I'm just full of bullshit. That could also be the case. It's very hard to test things like this because it's very just vibes and feeling and feely feel. But if it's only the flame fuel quant that works, you would run the purple one instead because it has 10% additional. And then obviously I use Twilight Sparks because Twilight Sparks is OP. And then for my drop experts, I'm using double compass. This is a compass form. If you're gonna do compass forming, you need Dorothy. Dorothy is one of the most paid to win pets in the game. She's absolutely disgusting. Well, the more levels you put in her. Level 1, Dorothy sucks dick. If you're gonna pull her at least level 3, but ideally level 6. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Game's ass. Almost every other form in the game, level 1 pets is good enough. Dorothy is like probably the most stupid pet when it comes to that. And you're also competing with like probably the most competitive market. I think compasses is the form that most people do in a given season. And then lastly, Twilight Sparks. And that's my full mapping setup. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. This is just what I've been farming. I'm probably going to be moving over to Deep Space and trying out this strat in Deep Space. And I have some other things I want to try out, some other strats I want to try out and, you know, make videos on for YouTube. I think of current compass prices and current beacon prices. If you do beacon farming, that should be over 3k an hour. There's some other stuff that people in my chat have been doing in Profound that's making over 3k an hour as well. And I also want to try out some new strats in Deep Space. Now, one thing that I have done in Profound that I didn't like that much because it was bugged was actually Clockwork. They have recently fixed Clockwork and made it that, like, you know, just to see what bugs and stuff that happen in Clockwork aren't happening anymore. So there might actually be a universe where, depending on the price of Clockwork and depending on the price of hunting, that Clockwork is better. You do get a lot more loot from Clockwork. It has way bigger explosions than the hunting strat does. And when I was testing it, when like the hunting compass was like, you know, a fourth of the price of the Clockwork compass, you know, hunting was only slightly better. So if it's like only half of the price of the Clockwork one, it might actually be better to go Clockwork. Which with the current prices, you know, I don't know, Clockwork seems really good for me right now with the current prices. So I do think I'm going to be testing that out as well. But mostly I am keen to just try out some Deep Space stuff because I did go ahead and get full immunities for Deep Space. I just want to finish this form and get the video out for people who are still in Profound. As for requirements, this is mostly a survival check. Like, if you have 2 million DPS, you're kind of just gonna, like, farm these mobs easily. The biggest issue in this farm is finding the survival to not get a one-shot by these bosses, because these bosses do fucking pound you. And if you don't have that survival yet, you can 6 portal. Like, you can run the 6 portal option and use it as the defense layer. But you will, like, if you're too squishy, you'll literally go into the final boss and just die 6 times in a row. Which is just not gonna be very good. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and all those beautiful things. And I'll see you again next time. Bye-bye, you two.